welcome to the latest Friday Afternoon Live. I'm Kevin Reid. I'm broadcasting from the Draft House here in the very sunny Hammersmith with a pint of Camden Strawberry Hells Lager, which has got a slight strawberry tang to it, unsurprisingly. It's going down okay. Thank you for watching our latest live Periscope video. Today I'm going to mainly focus on CogitalGroup, which you may not have heard about because it's a new accounting venture that's been driven by former Deloitte head John Connolly. John, a very demonstrative and larger-than-life character, pretty tough guy, and so that's going to be very, very interesting, and that's basically what I'm going to talk about over the next few minutes. So, CogitalGroup is formed with backing by HD Capital. HD Capital are a very big private equity group, and I guess really what I'm going to try and answer is CogitalGroup going to look to go up against the big four? What's its model and how's it going to try and succeed? Well, I guess we should probably start off with the fact that beyond a press release issued by HG Capital, we don't really have that much information. But what we do know is that they're looking at aiming services at highly entrepreneurial businesses, and they've said that they're going to look to acquire suitable businesses to help them along the high quality advisory line. So let's think about this then. In terms of the big four, you know, these are massive enterprises that run across global networks. So will CogitalGroup try and go up against those? Well, I think they probably will in terms of some of the high quality services that they try and offer. But at the end of the day, CogitalGroup, which is based around the London firm Blick Rothenberg, Blick operates through the BKR International Network, and that has 100 firms across 154 countries. But these firms just don't have the same stamp as a PwC or KPMG. So if the idea is for Cogital to end up being the same size as one of the big four firms, then, you know, acquiring Blick Rothenberg and being part of that member group or that member network is not really the way in which you're going to do that, which makes me therefore think that that's not really part of either Cogital, John Connolly's or HG Capital's plans. The other issue to bear in mind is that if Cogital is going to grow by acquisition, does that mean it's going to follow the path of other failed consolidators in the UK accounting market? We've seen Tenon, Vantis and Numerica all fail in recent years. They failed for a number of reasons, all of them quite fundamental. In terms of being acquisitive, they overpaid for the firms in which they acquired. They overexpanded too quickly and stretched themselves too thinly and weren't able to drive the economies of scale by which you try and leverage having a number of firms under your arm. They were also listed consolidators. They were listed on the public markets, and this meant that they had to kind of report quarterly. More fundamentally, it meant they had another layer of shareholders outside of their actual partners or directors, as they were called. And really, putting all of this together meant that they were probably always doomed to fail. Obviously, HG Capital's private equity, CogitalGroup is not listed, so it manages to get over that hurdle. I'd also be very surprised if they look to acquire aggressively. I'd imagine it will be kind of quite a slow and steady process. But if you put that all together, are they going to be a big four rival? They might be in terms of some of the services they offer, but in terms of being the same size and scale, I think no. In terms of following the consolidator route that has failed for other firms in the past, I think once again, no, they're not going to do that. The interesting thing will be the timescale of investment that HG Capital is outlining and how much investment they'll put in. You know, most private equity firms have got 5 to 10 year path towards investment, leverage, and then a sale. So it'll be interesting to see what they do over the next 3, 4, 5 years, and whether they can create an organisation that has more value or skin in the game, as the saying goes, to then be able to sell that on as a profit. You know, accountancy firms tend to be pretty steady, so whether that will be attractive for the next purchaser beyond HG Capital awaits to be seen. Other things that have been going on at Concierge this week, myself and editor Richard Crump are working very hard on the Concierge Top 50. We're still a week or so away from getting that published, unfortunately. We're having some fun and games with some of the firms being reticent about handing their information over, but we're not too far away on that. I've also been looking at the entries for the British Accountancy Awards and just doing some filtering and making sure that the information that goes over to the judges is all A-OK. The entries look fantastic on the whole. Some exciting categories that we will be revealing in a month or so's time. The judging takes place at the start of September, and so during the first half of September we'll get the shortlist out to you, and I think they're going to be really, really strong. Really excited about the British Accountancy Awards this year. It looks like we're going to have another year of growth and more fantastic entries, so I'm delighted about that. I've got Owen Thomas, the editor of HRD Connect, as my trusty cameraman. Bless him, he's doing very well to hold steady. It's not easy holding a camera dead still for 5 minutes or so. Owen, have we got any questions I need to broach?
No, a lot of love from the audience, but no questions.
Okay, well, thank you for watching. I've written about the HG Capital CogitalGroup in more depth online, and we've got a couple of stories around that. We'll have more stories and analysis around Cogital next week, so keep an eye on accountancy.com. Have a great weekend, get yourself a beer, maybe not one that's strawberry flavoured, and I'm off on a holiday next week, so I'm sure Richard Crump will be in front of the camera. See you on the other side. Cheers.